Some breaking news right now at 5 o'clock. Arson investigators are working to figure out what caused this fire in Old Louisville. Good evening. I'm Connie Leonard. This is at an apartment building on South Brook Street near East St. Catherine. Now, according to Louisville Fire, they received reports after 2:30 this afternoon from drivers on I-65. Crews responded within 3 minutes to find a 12-unit apartment complex on fire. LFD Captain Donovan Sims says the second floor of the building partially collapsed. Louisville Fire told us crews can gain control of that fire within the last hour. He mentioned several people are being checked out, including a firefighter.
We have 2 reports of occupants who just got checked out by EMS, non-life-threatening, very minor injuries. We also have 1 firefighter as well that's getting checked out with non-life-threatening injuries.
Louisville Fire says the American Red Cross is helping out the residents displaced by this fire.
Effective immediately, I am naming Paul Humphrey as chief of the Louisville Metro Police Department.
You heard it there. Tonight, LMPD has a new permanent chief, and this time it's a veteran officer from right here in Louisville. It's our top story here at 5. Paul Humphrey has been with the department since 2006, and now Mayor Greenberg says he is the person who can increase morale throughout the department and the city of Louisville. Jose Alonso and senior photojournalist Alyssa Newton were there for the mayor's big announcement.
Mayor Craig Greenberg hopes that Paul Humphrey, an 18-year veteran within LMPD, can bring change and stability within the department. That's why he announced on Monday he will get the top position.
He knows the department, he knows the officers, and he loves Louisville, his hometown.
Just short of 3 months being interim chief, Paul Humphrey is appointed the permanent title. With it came support from local leaders, an announcement of several promotions, and a change to over half of the command staff from Chief Humphrey himself.
I think, unfortunately, we found ourselves in a situation I've learned all too well in the last couple of months that we can go from issue to issue or crisis to crisis, and we end up as the product of those crises, as opposed to having a vision for where we should be.
Chief Humphrey says he knows the department won't be perfect, but he's focused on mutual respect with the community and moving forward, all while he leads the department as the ongoing consent decree enters intensive discussions with the Department of Justice. In Louisville, Jose Alonso, WHAS11 on your side.
Humphrey's official swearing-in ceremony will be September 27th at the Convention Center. Of course, we plan to be there to bring you coverage of that event. Paul Humphrey is now the 6th person to lead LMPD since 2020 in either an acting, interim, or permanent capacity. The list starts with Steve Conrad, who was the chief during the shooting death of Breonna Taylor. After that, LMPD brought in outside forces with Erica Shields serving as the next full-time chief. Jacqueline Gwen Villarroel came with Shields from Atlanta and took over when Shields stepped down. That brings us to today, with Humphrey as the latest chief to lead the department. Kentucky Attorney General Russell Coleman responded to Humphrey's appointment to the position. He said in part, "We look forward to zealous collaboration with Chief Humphrey and the essential agency he now leads to reduce violent crime, effectively implement group violence intervention, and keep Louisville families safe." Coleman also called the appointment the most impactful public safety decision made by Metro Louisville Mayor during his time in office. Well, we've entered week 2 in the manhunt for Joseph Couch. It's been 10 days since police say he opened fire on I-75 in southeastern Kentucky, injuring 5 people, all of whom are expected to recover. Today, Kentucky State Police are working from a deeper base of operations as their search for Couch goes further into Daniel Boone National Forest. Our Ian Hardwood and photojournalist Emma Gefter went right into the search where KSP revealed more about what the pursuit uncovered.
The Laurel County Sheriff's Office thinks Joseph Couch took this access road on his way to a ridge overlooking Interstate 75 before shooting 5 people and at least a dozen cars.
We believe that he does have some access to some food he did early on. That's probably went and gone.
After scouring 28,000 acres for Couch, Kentucky State Police prepare to go through thousands more. Their field base now further into Daniel Boone National Forest. Deputy Gilbert Achardo took us close to where the local investigation into Couch revealed the suspect left behind a duffel bag with his last name on it near an AR-15 purchased earlier the same day in town.
We ventured up into here, and that's when one of the officers actually found the vehicle. We ran registration on it, and that's where we developed our suspect.
Up on this ridge is where Laurel County sheriffs say Couch ditched his vehicle before Couch then started taking off this direction onto this trail, about 600 to 700 feet going towards I-75 and exit 49. Kentucky State Troopers took over for the search wearing gear like this, going through lots of trails like these full of bramble.
From the blind eye, you never know there's a cave, a sinkhole, or nothing, but they're out there.
Drones are used to map the search area and scout caves before troopers and dogs move through. Now, state police are following a trail picked up by their canines, sniffing out the wilderness.
Not saying it was Mr. Couch, but they were on a track of something for several days.
While police took hundreds of tips from abroad, none of them led them to believe Couch left the wilderness. KSP still thinks Couch is isolated and acting alone. Though they don't know if he's alive or dead, they have a message for him.
Please turn yourself in. If you've got anything left in you as a man, turn yourself in to the Kentucky State Police, the Sheriff's Office, or City Police. Turn yourself into somebody.
In Laurel County, Ian Hardwick, WHAS11, on your side.
Again, people are urged to stay away from that area as the manhunt goes on. Anyone with information that could help police is urged to call Laurel County Police. That number is 606-878-7000. All right, well, it was another beautiful day in Kentucky. Matt Ruckin has an early look at the forecast. Look at it out there, Matt. Started getting warm, though, this afternoon, right?
A little bit, yeah. You know, our normal high is about 83. We're about 90 in most locations. But, as I keep saying, it's kind of like Vegas or Phoenix. It's a very dry heat with humidity, only in the upper 20, low 30% range. So it's not like you go out and you're sweating a bunch. Max HD radar sweeping all clear. All eyes on radar because we really need some rain, right? Don't need to tell you that. You're well aware. There is some rain out along the Atlantic coast coming our way. It's a big area of low pressure. Luckily, it didn't materialize into a tropical storm. It just got onto coast too quickly. However, it's dumping a lot of rain down that way. It's pushing right towards us here in Louisville. So you look at this and you think, all right, we're going to get some solid rain tomorrow. Unfortunately, it's just insanely dry here. So as that moisture moves our way, it's going to effectively get eaten up. We hopefully will see some sprinkles. I think it's going to be basically east of 65. The closer you are to Lexington and Cincinnati, better chances here at home. Unfortunately, just not looking real good. This is Jeffersonville looking really nice out there on this Monday afternoon. It's 87 at the airport in Louisville. Again, 30% relative humidity because the dew point's 52. That's nice and low, so it feels really, really spectacular out there, even though it's pretty warm. Temperatures fall into the 70s. And then 60s later this evening outside of Metro. I fully expect some 50s tomorrow morning, so some nice natural air conditioning. With that system getting closer, certainly more clouds tomorrow, the high thin cirrus clouds and light rain east of 65. We'll time this out hour by hour with Futurecasts and then let you know if we get any fall weather as fall officially begins this weekend. I'll have all that coming your way in about 10 minutes.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, Matt. A New Albany man is charged in connection to a shooting at the Hitching Post bar. Terry Castile is charged with battery and criminal recklessness. The 64-year-old alleged shooter was still on the scene when New Albany police responded to the Hitching Post on Main Street. It happened in the middle of the day last Monday. Now, according to the county attorney, the two men fought inside the bar. Castile allegedly shot Gilbert William once. He's expected to be okay.
It is, again, the use of a firearm in our city, allegedly, and it was in a public place, allegedly. So when you get to that, it just is a concern of our community.
Castile is charged with battery and criminal recklessness, again, both felonies. A mother accused of killing her two sons in Shepherdsville is using insanity as a defense in her case. Tiffany Lucas was arrested last year when police found her 6-year-old and 9-year-old boys dead inside her home on Brentwood Drive. Both boys were shot to death. Lucas's attorney filed a motion in her case, informing the court they plan to argue that Lucas was legally insane at the time of the murders. They are not questioning her competency, though, to stand trial. She's pleaded not guilty in the past. Her trial date is set for December 17th. A man has pleaded not guilty after being accused of taking part in the recent street racing takeovers. Metro Police say 18-year-old Bryce Johnson was one of several suspects doing donuts at 26 and Market Streets over the Labor Day weekend. Officers said he was also seen at the takeover near Iroquois Park with a passenger hanging out of his window. Police claim Johnson admitted to taking part in the takeovers. While in court this morning, the prosecution said Johnson's actions were reckless and dangerous to the community.
There was a clear danger to the society as several officers were involved. The allegations are that there was another individual hanging outside of the car on 2 separate occasions. Once the original location was shut down, the defendant drove to a separate location and did the exact same thing. He is a clear danger to the city.
Johnson is charged with wanton endangerment, reckless driving, and rioting. His bond was set at $2,500. He's due back in court next Tuesday. And a woman is dead following a house fire in Valley Station. It happened around 3 this morning on Stephen Drive. PRP Fire says its crews were on scene within 4 minutes and found heavy fire on the first floor extending into the second level. They rescued a victim from the residents who died at the hospital. A firefighter was also transported with minor burns to the arm, but was already back on the job before our crew left the scene.